Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. There is a lot going on here at my little garden. Some things are good. Uh, some things, I don't think anything's that terribly bad. I just don't have a clue. So I figured, I think it's time for a little tiny garden tour. I think there's a lot that I need to be getting myself into, maybe this weekend, in the next couple of days, or within the next week. And I think my game plan is to get there by this weekend. I've got an open free weekend. I think it'll be a good time where I can get a lot of stuff done. Plants are growing, they're growing, and they're big. They look like they're healthy. They might be too close together. I might have completely dropped the ball on that, but I'm gonna do what I can do. Some concerns here and there with a few aphids, ants, ants and aphids, I believe they go hand in hand. My cool weather crops are definitely showing signs of irritation in the warm, hot weather. I think here in Maryland, we jumped from spring, early spring, right into the heat of summer. We've been basically 90 degrees the past couple of days, and it's what we do here in Maryland, so it's nothing too surprising. My plants are not taking too kindly to it, those that like the cooler weather. I've sort of spun some pots around for like my peas, my spinach. Nope, spinach couldn't do it for me. My lettuce is looking pretty good. My carrots, I don't think they have a clue what they're doing. Spun them around a little bit to keep them a little more in the shade. I was trying to look up how peas, or when to know to harvest peas. Don't really have an answer for that. I was sort of pushing on the pea pods. They are, they're peeling peas, I believe. So I am supposed to harvest them when they're ready to peel open and cook the peas themselves. I'll let you guys in on that whenever I figure out what I'm doing with them. But for now, I'm just going to walk around, show you what I have going on, show you what is surviving and growing for me, and we'll take it from there. So on that note, let's get into the video. All right, guys, here are my cool weather crops. I've got my peas, my carrots, and my romaine lettuce back there. I just pulled a couple of leaves off to do another buffalo chicken wrap last night. No surprise there. That's basically what I've been living off of. These are my peas. Was just watching a video of a lady who said, harvest your peeling peas whenever they're still green and they've got a shine to them. If you rub them, that shine under my finger right there, that's when those are ready, as long as they're nice and plump. Another lady said they shouldn't be squishy when you push on them, which this one's not squishy. This one doesn't look very plumpy, but it's also not very squishy. I've got a lot of these type guys. Actually, that one looks pretty good, but I mean back here, like I said, I think the heat got to these. They're just, well, I don't think anything's gonna form in there, but I do have a couple of edible, usable peas. Funny side note though, apparently you need to grow like a gazillion peas in order to have enough for mealtime. So one plant obviously is going to do me no good, but it's a good plant, easy plant to grow for a first-time gardener. So there you go. Carrots are still doing their crazy nonsense. Not much change down here at ground level. I haven't pulled any out of the ground to see what's happening with them. I think I'm just going to leave them alone for a little bit. Over here are my zinnias that I started in the house, and they're doing good. I've got buds everywhere. There's a bud there. There's a pretty little bud there. These all have buds on them, so I actually had a success there. Hopefully they will bud and they will open. The rest of my sunflowers that I planted, here are some more zinnias back there that I planted. I mean, they're all just looking pretty normal. If I come around here, I had whenever I started my seedlings indoors, I had some Roma tomatoes that I wanted to maybe use for canning. They didn't survive. I don't think any of them survived. So I went to the Amish nursery and I picked up what they recommended for canning tomatoes. I do want to give that a try. If I do get any sort of a production. I've got this plant here that I pulled the dying spinach out of. And then over there I've got the 3 others that are back in that second bed that I planted. We'll see what they get. Strawberries, goodness grief, those are exhausting. I'm not sure I ever should have done that. Like I said, they keep producing and then they keep dying. So who knows what's going on there. This is my regular cucumber plant. Looking pretty good. Let's see, the zinnias back here that I started in the ground, my sunflowers, my lovely massive sunflowers right there that dropped out of my bird feeder at some point over the winter, which is pretty cool because they did start growing. And if I do head back here, my squash is looking great. It's out of control, but it's looking great. My pumpkins, they are the great for carving pumpkins or something of that nature. I do have them coming up. I planted them, I didn't show a video on this, but I actually planted them correctly in a mound, and they definitely came out of the ground much faster. I did see some flower production in here. This is one of my squash plants. I think this is the Black Beauty. I've got a flower down in there. I was trying to learn the difference between the male and the female flowers and which ones will produce fruit. If I can see over here, I've got a lot happening. I think I'll save that for another video, but these are my 2 zucchini plants. Here is my 1 squash plant. Peppermint, I moved it. I'm having some aphid problems. I moved my peppermints here. There's my pickling cucumber, my watermelon. I think I'm going to put up cattle panel for my watermelon to sort of tame into this corner. I have my cherry 100 tomato. My this is one of the Amish tomatoes. It's called a healthy kick tomato. They said they use those ones for canning. That is this tomato, that tomato, and this tomato. This is one of mine that I started indoors, not a clue what that is. When my daughter rearranged my organization and my labeling, no clue what that is. This guy is one of mine. It's the honeycomb cherry tomato. He's not growing straight, and I didn't get them caged quickly, so he sort of fell against the ground. He's been having some aphid issues. I'm going to do a video on that and what I've been doing to sort of keep on top of that. I've got my other peppermint to try and deter them. My basils are growing like crazy. The ones that I started here, they're gonna flower. I don't think I'm going to use these ones for food. I just sort of wanted decorative and to help with the tomato flavor. I've got my marigolds coming up, and then my purple basil, which I was going to use for more marigolds and my other basil. I was going to use my purple basil as my, what do you call it? My pesto, if I did get to that point. So we'll leave that there. I did want to just make mention that I did not mulch that second bed yet. Leaves are much harder to come by whenever it's not fall time. Who would have thought? I've got to go in the woods and find something, though. It was quite interesting for me to see that bed in comparison to this near bed that I mulched before I planted. There's just a massive difference in, obviously, weed growth, but soil integrity, which is kind of crazy, and I'm glad I did do it that way, but I definitely see the necessity in mulching and mulching right away. So thanks guys very much for stopping by. I'm going to have a couple more videos. I'm going to try to trim up those squash plants, repot my peppermints to sort of keep them a little happier with moisture levels. I am going to talk to you guys a little bit about the ants and the aphids, especially on the one tomato plant. I think all those are going to be separate videos coming shortly. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in my next video.